ma'am. I'm Rick J. Oroldan from bacc1. The first one is describe and explain the flow of circular flow model. The circular flow model demonstrates how money moves through society. Money flows from the producers, workers as wage and flows back to the producers as payment for products. In short, an economy is an endless circular flow of money. For that reason, the model is also referred to as the circular flow of income model. Circular flow diagram. The circular flow diagram or circular flow model is a graphical representation of the flows of goods and money between two distinct parts of the economy. Market. For goods and services, where households purchase goods and services from firms in exchange for money. Market for factors of production such as labor or capital, where firms purchase factors of production from households in exchange for money. B. What is your own art of economic analysis aside from the description referred from the book? My example is much of economic theory rests on an assumption of rational behavior by consumers. Especially in classical economics, economic theory is derived from a belief that consumers and firms will rationally pursue utility, maximizing decisions. Yet, in practice, human nature is much more complex. Behavioral economics tries to understand this human factor much more, but this involves many normative, subjective opinions. And the letter C. Analyze and explain what is rational self-interest. Economists assume that humans make decisions in predictable ways. They believe that when making choice, people try to avoid costs and maximize benefits to themselves. This is what economists mean by rational decision making. And economists recognize that very few choices in the real world are all or nothing. Most of the time, people have the choice to do a little more or a little less from something. Should you eat one more muffin? Should you study economics for another hour? Should you spend a little less money on gas? Economists use the word marginal to mean additional or extra. Economists can make two kinds of arguments. Positive reasoning is a scientific reasoning based on theories and evidence. Policy decisions often employ normative reasoning, which is based on values. For reasons we will see later, it is important to be able to differentiate between the two. Define rationality in economic context. Provide example of rational decision making. Letter D. Why does choice requires time and information? Rational choice takes time and information. A choice can be a poor of one if a decision maker lacks good information. The collection and assimilation of information take time and use up resources. For example, most people want to get the most useful products at the lowest price. Because of this, they will judge the benefits of the certain object. For example, how useful is it or attractive is compared to those similar objects. They will then compare prices or costs. In general, people will choose the object that provides the greatest reward at the lowest cost. Letter E. What does it mean when we say economic analysis is a marginal analysis? When we say marginal analysis is an examination of the additional benefits of an activity compared to the additional costs incurred by the same activity. Companies use marginal analysis as a decision-making tool to help them maximize their potential profits. Example, if a company is thinking about expanding to increase the volume of products that it produces, management may choose to perform a marginal analysis to determine whether the additional cost the company will incur is a good investment in the growth of the business. In order to do this, management will first have to add all of the additional costs that are associated with an increase in production. Letter F. In your own words, differentiate macroeconomics from microeconomics. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the study of an economy's overall efficiency, structure, behavior, and decision-making. Microeconomics. Microeconomics is the analysis of a single individual, a single organization, or a company economics interaction. Markets are where this interaction, which mostly consists of buying and selling products, take place. Microeconomics is therefore the study of markets, the relation between supply and demand, as well as the scarcity of commodities are two main elements of this economic science. Letter G. What is the role of theory in economics? Indeed, one of the important roles of economic theory is to keep track of benefits and costs. The idea of opportunity cost is a fundamental of one in economics and would be very difficult to use without a theoretical model of economic linkage. Economic theories try to explain economic phenomena, to interpret why and how the economy behaves, what is the best solution, how to influence or to solve this economic phenomena. In principle, the approach of economic theory is divided into positive and normative. Letter H. Enumerate the 4 steps of scientific method used in the field of management. The first one is make an observation that describes a problem. We make decisions constantly which affect our lives and the lives of others. Normally, we do not think about the problem-solving process since most of our problems are solved by reaction rather than reflection. The second one, create a hypothesis. State the problem that you are trying to solve. Make sure that the hypothesis clearly defines the topic and the focus of the experiment. There must be a possibility to prove that the hypothesis is true. There must be a possibility to prove the hypothesis is false, and the result of hypothesis must be reproducible. And the third one, test the hypothesis. Hypothesis testing is an act in statistics where an analysis tests an assumption regarding a population parameter. The methodology employed by the analysis depends on the nature of the data used, the reason for the analysis. Hypothesis testing is used to assess the plausibility of hypothesis by using sample data. And the last one is draw conclusions and refine the hypothesis. When drawing conclusions, the researcher may think that another causal effect influence the result, and that this variable was not eliminated during the experimental process. A refined version of the experiment may help to achieve better result if the few effect is included in the design process.